Hey do-gooders, what is TMJ and do I have it? Buckle up, time for some PFOing so you know where you're going. I'm your local orthodontist answering your questions about orthodontics and life. I'm the guy. So, you may notice as you go through the different episodes, sometimes I have something around my eye. It's kind of swollen. People ask me like, what's happened to you? What happened to your face? Sometimes I feel like I look like this guy. Don't worry, it's just an allergy. At least I think it is. Okay, so today's teeth question is, what is TMJ and do I have it? I hear this very regularly from patients and other people. Doc, I have TMJ. And I'm like, yes you do. Surprise, we all have TMJs. And yes, TMJ plural. And you're like this from Penguins of Madagascar.
Oh no, we're dead! Dead!
Don't freak out. Let's talk about why you don't need to freak out because you have a TMJ or TMJs. What is TMJ? TMJ stands for Temporal Mandibular Joint. I think I said that right. A joint can be described as when two parts of the skeleton come together or join at a specific spot. The TMJ is made, the two bones that make up the temporal mandibular joint, or the TMJ, are the mandible, you know, chiseled the jaw, no, okay. The mandible, the lower jawbone, connecting with the skull, as you can see in these pictures. When you combine these two bones, you get something amazing.
By your powers combined, I am Captain Planet!
Okay, maybe you don't get Captain Planet, but you get the temporal mandibular joint. Okay, if you remember, I said we all have TMJs plural, because we have two sides of our face. We have the lower jaw on this side that connects to the skull, and we have the lower jaw on this side that connects to the skull. Essentially, I mean generally, if you wanted to try and feel your joint, basically you go to about where your ear is, and then you come forward a little bit, and when you open and close, you can feel a bone moving down and forward. On both sides, you've found your TMJs. Woohoo! Now, when you hear somebody say that they have TMJ, you can say, congratulations! You did it. You found it.
You did it! Congratulations!
So, as we are getting to, having a TMJ or TMJs in and of itself is not reason for concern. In fact, your joint, the temporal mandibular joint, plays a role in opening and closing your mouth and all the different things that you do when you close and open your mouth. Speaking, eating. If you can't open your mouth, then you're gonna have a hard time singing and laughing and talking and eating. So, what is all the fuss about the TMJ or TMJs? Having a TMJ or TMJs isn't the problem. It's when you have issues with the tissues or the bones around the TMJ that give you what we call TMD, or a disorder of the joint, right? The tissues around the joint can be hard tissue, like your bones, right, that connect there, the bones that connect there in your joints. Can also be related to muscles or nerves, ligaments, tendons, all sorts of things that connect in that area. So what are some of the problems that you can have with the TMJ? Pain is probably the most serious problem. And that's more like a symptom. Pain is a symptom, but people start really feeling like whatever they've got going on is a real problem when they feel pain. Pain can be felt in different areas associated with the TMJ. It can be here, right? We got big muscles here. It can be up here, muscles back here. It can be down the neck a little bit and other places. Another sign or symptom of some sort of disorder of the joint, or a TMD, is clicking or popping. Some people, when they open and close their mouth, they go, I mean, they don't snap, they don't do that. I'm just trying to simulate what the sounds are. Clicks and pops, and open and close. And the clicking and popping, as long as it's not painful, is probably just more annoying than it is like a serious issue. Clicking and popping is commonly associated with the disc, right? Most of our joints have a disc that rests in between the bones, so the bones just don't grind against each other. It's a disc that goes in between. And if that disc near your joint or in your joint gets positioned wrong, then when you open and close your mouth, it kind of clicks in position to out of position, or out of position back into position. That's usually what clicking and popping is associated with. Lockjaw. Now that might be a little bit scary. And the reason why is because if you've never felt it before, and all of a sudden you wake up in the morning and you can't open your mouth, or you can't close your mouth, and you get really nervous. Watch out for that one. Muscle soreness can be a problem associated with the TMJ, right? We already pointed out some big muscle bands here, and there's all sorts of other muscles that connect around the joint or to the bones near the joint, and when those muscles get fatigued from overuse, they can cause soreness around the TMJ. And sometimes constant use of those muscles or muscle soreness, again, can lead to what feels like headaches, significant headaches behind the eyes right here, up on your skull, above your ears, maybe kind of back down in the neck. Obviously, these things don't sound like very much fun.
Welcome back, Captain Obvious.
Yes, I am.
So what we described are like some of the symptoms or signs of TMDs, right? Things that might be associated with whatever's causing the TMD. So what things can cause disorders of the joint? Unfortunately, the source of your TMD could be multifactorial. That means that there could be multiple things all contributing to the issue. It could be that you're really stressed out, leads you to clench and grind your teeth. Could be from a previous trauma to the face. Could be related to hormones and your personal genetics. It also could be associated with the way that you bite. But like I said, your problems could be one or more of the previously mentioned causes. So what's the solution? We have different options. For those whose TMD, muscle soreness, might be associated with clenching and grinding, squeezing your teeth so tight, just remember this: lips together, teeth apart. Don't do the Flynn Rider, knees apart.
Arms in.
Arms in.
Knees apart.
Knees apart. Knees apart.
Lips together, teeth apart. Clenching and grinding can also be, or try to be, addressed via night guard, right? Stick something like acrylic in between your teeth to prevent you from squeezing down so hard, fatiguing these muscles and maybe damaging some of your teeth. There are also medications that you can use to help alleviate some of the issues. You can consider ibuprofen, Tylenol, or muscle relaxants. Another non-surgical technique that you can use to try and address TMDs is some localized massages in the area to try and get your muscles to relax. Diet modification. This one may not sound as appealing, but until you figure things out, you might want to consider cutting your foods into smaller pieces. Watch out for the crunchy and hard things that might cause you to use excessive force to chew them, making the situation worse. You could also try some Botox or local anesthetic in the area to the muscles to try and help. Last option, maybe you just need to relax. Try a little yoga. Go for a run, exercise, meditate, or go to the spa. Those are just some of the basic, maybe most common options you can consider to try and address symptoms associated with TMD, disorders of your joint. Now, there's also surgical options. I'm not gonna get too much into these. You can always consider replacing your joint. Not that you shouldn't, but there's all those non-surgical options that you might want to consider first. TMDs can be transient. That means that one day you might have issues with your joint, and then the next day you don't. Sometimes people have them when they're young and they go away when they get older, or vice versa. How long each TMD lasts varies per person and what's going on in their individual lives. In part because of the transient nature associated with TMDs, usually the recommendation is that you consider non-surgical techniques to try and address the issues before you commit to something surgical. In summary, we all have TMJs. People that have pain and or other problems associated with their TMJs have TMDs, or a disorder of the joint. The source of your TMD could be multiple different things. TMDs can be transient, which means that they can go away with time. There are different approaches to try and treat TMDs. Get different opinions. Okay, do-gooders. Let's talk about do good and live good. Life can be uncertain sometimes. Just like a TMD, the source of a TMD can be uncertain, and the uncertainty of the future can drive people mad. For example, my body feels weird. What is going on? I'm not talking about the Peter Parker kind of change. Many people have felt those body pains that you just can't figure out. You go to different doctors and it's just weird. You can't identify the specific reason why your body hurts. Or another uncertainty, will I get into college? Will somebody ask me to prom? Will I get a job? Will I ever get married? What if I'm not good enough? The list of uncertainties in life seems endless. So what then? Do-gooders want to live the good life, and so they focus on what they can do and change. In ways that are possible, do-gooders try to figure out, well, how can I make uncertain things more certain? Get good grades so you have a better chance of getting into college. Work on developing personal relationships so somebody might ask you to prom. And in my opinion, more importantly, so that you can get married someday. Develop a good work ethic and other skills so that you improve your chances of getting a job. These are all things that do-gooders can do to make uncertain futures more certain. Despite all your best efforts, the uncertainty is likely still going to be there in many ways. Or uncertainties that you make certain at one point in your life just develop anew at different stages of your life as things change, as life moves on. Take life one day at a time. Believe in good things to come and do your best. Despite all the uncertainties, life can still be good. Find your anchor and then go to work living the good life. That's all I've got. Drink it up. Just a little PFOing so you know where you're going. Packard out.